Hello everyone, Loomer here again with another episode of Templar training. In the last episode I showed you how to identify your pursuer, and now I'm going to show you how to take them out. So in Assassin's Creed there are 4 different ways to get rid of your pursuer: lures, stuns, escapes, and getting your pursuer killed. In this series though, we're mainly going to be talking about stuns, and in this particular episode we're going to look at abilities that disable your pursuer so that you can stun them. So let's get started. We'll start by looking at Smoke. Smoke Bomb is one of the most versatile and popular abilities in the game. If you catch a player in it, they can't move, kill, stun, or use any abilities, allowing you to get the stun on your pursuer. If you see them being caught in somebody else's Smoke Bomb, don't be afraid to use this to your advantage as well. Now there are a few important things to note about Smoke Bombs. The first is that your character drops it in front of them, which means that you will actually have more smoke in front of you than behind you. Here I'm standing pretty much in the middle between these two blend groups, but as I drop my smoke you can see the difference in range and how it affects the two groups. This means that you want to be facing your targets as often as possible when dropping your smoke bomb, and if you happen to drop a smoke bomb for a pursuer who is coming up behind you, don't be surprised if they get the kill. This also means that if you're standing on the edge of a roof, the bomb will actually land on the ground below, which is something to keep in mind. Now, these properties also apply to certain other abilities like firecrackers and tripwire mines. And just like those abilities, the smoke bomb can also be thrown if you hold down the ability button instead of pressing it. This will put you in an aiming mode that you can adjust before actually throwing the bomb. A nice trick is that if you lock a persona, you will automatically be aiming at them when you hold the ability button. Now, by the time you throw the bomb and it actually deploys, your intended target might have moved out of range. So a good method is to start by aiming at them, but then manually adjusting it so that you're leading your target a little bit with the smoke. Another thing to watch out for with smoke is how it's affected by elevation. People standing just a little bit above the smoke cloud will not be affected by it, and will be able to kill you without any problems. However, if the persona is below the smoke cloud within reason, they will still be affected by the smoke bomb, and you should be able to pull off your stun. The last thing to be aware of with smoke bombs is that they have a built-in delay before deploying, which can be made even worse with lag. This means that you'll often find yourself being killed through your smoke bomb, which can be very frustrating. If you find that this happens to you frequently, try throwing your smoke bomb or crafting it with extra range and dropping it earlier. The delay means you'll also generally want to either keep still or move back after dropping the smoke bomb, so that you can verify that you caught your target in it before moving forward. Next up is Mute. Mute will briefly disable your pursuer from killing or using abilities, letting you get the stun, and unlike smoke bomb it can affect players at a higher elevation than you. Now Mute activates instantly, but it's still subject to lag, which means that in practice you need to wait a split second before trying to stun. Mute has a nice range of 6 meters, so try to catch your target at the very edge of it to give yourself time for the stun. Also worth noting is the green animus effect that washes over your pursuer when they're hit with Mute, giving you an immediate confirmation that you picked out the right person. Next, let's look at throwing knives. If you hit your target with knives, their kill range will be slightly reduced, which means you can get the stun if you attempt it from the maximum possible distance. If you get too close though, your pursuer will still be able to kill you. If your pursuer is in an acrobatic position, you can use knives to knock them down and get the stun that way as well. Finally, keep in mind that knives can only be used on a player if they are either your pursuer or target. So if you know that a persona is a player and not an NPC, you can try to knife them. If they're not after you, you'll just get an error message. But if they are after you, you'll throw your knives, so be ready to quickly follow up with a stun. Next we have the Tripwire Bomb. It's tempting to just throw this at your feet, but the blast radius is small enough that doing this has a good chance of getting you killed. What you really want to do is place it a little further out in the direction that your pursuer will come from, which will give you a little more distance. The bomb doesn't even need to be near you, as long as you can anticipate the path that your pursuer will take and place it somewhere along there. Throwing the bomb can be helpful for this too. Now be aware though that your bomb can be set off by any other players in the match, not just your pursuer. Finally, there's the Chargeability. There's not really much to say about it, you just hit the charge button to stun your pursuer. However, just like the other abilities we've looked at, it's vulnerable to lag, so it's best used at around a medium distance from your pursuer. Now, most of this episode is dealt with stunning a pursuer who's on the ground, but if you see that your pursuer is on the roof, the best thing to do is to pull away from the roof and try to get them to jump at you. You want to be at a distance where you're too far away to kill, but close enough that they think to themselves, screw it, I'll just quickly jump down and get the kill. Once they jump, you can use an ability to take them out, or if you act quickly enough, you can usually stun them without using abilities too. Finally, I have one last tip for you, which is that you can use some of your abilities even when you're in the middle of a kill or a stun animation. This mainly applies to smoke, but with some careful timing your mute can help save your life as well. Now, stuns aren't the only way to get rid of your pursuer, but they have a lot of advantages. They're very quick, the points add up, and they count towards whatever kill streak you have equipped. In my opinion, it's also just a really fun way to play the game. In this episode we looked at how to disable your pursuer to stun them, but next time I'll show you how to also get stuns by taking your pursuer by surprise, both with and without using abilities. That's it for this episode, see you next time.